Famous historical facts that aren't true. Hey everyone, welcome back to Debunked. Or are they? The channel where we bust the facts you thought you knew. History is full of wild stories, but here's the thing. A lot of the stuff we're taught in school or see in movies is, well, just flat out wrong. So today, we're taking on 6 of the most famous historical facts that aren't actually true. Get ready. Some of these might make you rethink what you've always believed. Myth number 1. Vikings wore horned helmets. When you picture a Viking, chances are you imagine a tall, fierce warrior with a big beard and, of course, a horned helmet. The problem? Vikings never wore them. The image of the horned Viking helmet actually comes from the 19th century, when costumers for Wagner's Opera der Ring der Nibelungen designed horned helmets for dramatic effect. Archaeologists have uncovered hundreds of Viking helmets, and not a single one has horns. Real Viking helmets were practical, rounded, sturdy, and built for battle. Horns would have been a terrible idea. Imagine trying to fight while your enemy just grabs the horn and yanks. So those horned helmets? Purely a theatrical invention that stuck in pop culture. Myth number 2. Napoleon was extremely short. Napoleon Bonaparte is often remembered as the tiny emperor with a huge ego. But the truth is, he wasn't unusually short at all. Napoleon's recorded height was 5 foot 2 inches. But here's the twist. That was in French units, which don't match modern ones. In today's measurements, he was about 5 foot 6 or 5 foot 7, almost average for his time. The myth comes from British propaganda during the Napoleonic Wars, where cartoons depicted him as small and petty to ridicule him. Combine that with mistranslations of measurements, and the myth stuck. In reality, Napoleon stood shoulder to shoulder with most men of his era. Myth number 3. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. You've probably heard this one in school. The Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible from space. Sounds impressive, right? Unfortunately, astronauts themselves have confirmed it's not true. The wall is long, over 13,000 miles, but it's also relatively narrow, blending into the natural landscape. From low Earth orbit, even the pyramids of Giza or city lights are easier to spot. NASA astronauts have repeatedly said that with the naked eye, the wall is not visible. In fact, the idea probably originated from a 1932 Ripley's Believe It or Not cartoon, which exaggerated the claim. So while the Great Wall is an engineering marvel, you'll need more than a pair of astronaut eyes to spot it from space. Myth number 4. Einstein failed math. Albert Einstein, genius physicist, Nobel Prize winner, the man synonymous with intelligence. But didn't he fail math as a kid? Nope. That's one of history's most stubborn myths. In reality, Einstein was excelling in math by the age of 12, mastering calculus long before most kids even see an equation. The confusion comes from 2 things. The Swiss grading system of his time marked high scores with low numbers, so a 1 meant excellent, while a 6 was failing. When translated incorrectly, it looked like Einstein had bad marks. The story was spread in newspapers and repeated so often it became fact. Einstein himself laughed at the myth, once saying, "Before I was 15, I had mastered differential and integral calculus." So no, Einstein didn't fail math, he crushed it. Myth number 5. Columbus proved the Earth was round. We've all heard that Christopher Columbus set sail in 1492 to prove the Earth was round. Sounds heroic, right? But by Columbus's time, almost every educated European already knew the Earth was round. In fact, people had known since ancient Greece, when Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference with surprising accuracy in the 3rd century BCE. The real debate in Columbus's day wasn't about shape, it was about size. Scholars thought the Earth was much larger than Columbus did. Columbus believed Asia was just a short sail west. He was wrong, but instead, he bumped into the Americas. So Columbus didn't prove the Earth was round. He just miscalculated and got lucky in making one of history's biggest accidental discoveries. Myth number 6. People in the Middle Ages believed the Earth was flat. Closely related is the myth that people in the Middle Ages thought the Earth was flat. In truth, most scholars, sailors, and even church leaders in medieval Europe knew the Earth was spherical. Ancient knowledge had never been completely lost. The idea of a flat Earth Middle Ages was actually invented much later. In the 19th century, by authors who wanted to portray the church as anti-science and backward. So no, medieval people weren't falling off the edge of the earth in their imagination. That idea was a modern distortion, not a medieval belief. Conclusion. From horned helmets to flat earth fears, history is full of myths that refuse to die. And while these stories make great drama, they remind us of an important lesson. Not everything we've been told is true. So the next time you hear a historical fact, ask yourself, has it been proven, or is it just another myth waiting to be debunked? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and tell me in the comments, which of these myths surprised you the most? Because here on this channel, we always ask the same question, debunked, or are they?